She doesn't age. She doesn't sleep. She doesn't bleed. Her body is flawless, but it was never born. Her face is familiar, but she doesn't exist. She is made of pixels, prompts, and probability. And she is everywhere. In your feed, in your games, in your dreams. This is not science fiction, this is the new normal. In an era where artificial intelligence sculpts beauty, and identity as a user interface, we are witnessing the rise of a new kind of woman, one created not from flesh and blood, but from data and desire. Welcome to the future of the body. Welcome to Plastika 2.0. The human body has always been a canvas for our fantasies. In ancient temples, marble goddesses stood as ideals of beauty, chiseled to perfection by the hands of sculptors. In Renaissance ateliers, anatomical studies merged art with science, seeking divine proportions hidden in muscle and bone. Fast forward to the 21st century, and our bodies are no longer sculpted in stone, but in code. The digital body is born not in flesh, but in pixels, shaders, and neural networks. At first, they lived in video games, silent heroines with impossibly long legs and glossy skin. Then came Instagram filters, AR lenses, and virtual models. Suddenly, the boundaries between the real and the rendered began to blur. The female body, in particular, became the preferred playground for this evolution. In the history of visual culture, it has always carried symbolic weight of desire, control, aspiration. In the age of AI, that symbolism took on a new, programmable form. Today, virtual women are crafted not by photographers or plastic surgeons, but by machine learning models trained on millions of faces and forms. Beauty is no longer found, it is generated. And as these digital bodies proliferate, a question emerges. Are we looking at the future of identity, or just another mirror of our oldest obsessions? What was once done with scalpels and silicone, is now done with sliders and prompts. Welcome to the new era of bodily design, where the human form is not born, but rendered. In the early 2000s, body modification meant physical pain, surgery, implants, injections. But today, in the age of generative AI, transformation is instant, bloodless, and unlimited. Platforms like Midjourney, DALL-E, and Stable Diffusion can conjure synthetic humans in seconds, idealized, curated, controllable. What makes this revolution different is not just speed or accessibility. It's that the criteria of beauty are no longer defined by cultures, they're defined by code. Trained on datasets of millions of faces, most of them female, the AI doesn't ask what beauty means. It calculates it. Cheekbones at this angle, nose at that length, eyes spaced just enough to signal youth, but not alienness. Symmetry, smoothness, softness, these are the metrics of desire. You might think you're choosing what you like. But the system has already chosen for you. It's not just responding to taste, it's shaping it. Here's the disturbing part. When millions of users input random prompts like, beautiful woman, or hot girl, AI systems begin to regress toward a single aesthetic. A face that is racially ambiguous, forever 22, with hyper-feminine features, no wrinkles, no flaws, no identity beyond the gaze of desire. The output becomes a mirror of the most statistically repeated fantasy. And this fantasy is increasingly globalized. A face that looks equally at home in Los Angeles, Seoul, or Sao Paulo, but belongs to nowhere. The rise of customizable avatars in the Metaverse, on platforms like Ready Player Me, Zapito, and VRChat, pushes this logic even further. Users are not just modifying hairstyles or outfits. They are crafting bodies from the ground up, adjusting hip width, clavicle height, skin gloss, even genital presence. This isn't just self-expression. It's self-commodification. Our digital doubles are designed not only to represent us, but to outperform us. To be more photogenic, more flirtatious, more clickable. A growing industry is capitalizing on this trend. Influencers like Lil Miquela and Shudu don't exist, yet they secure brand deals with real fashion houses. Virtual models sell real clothes. Artificial bodies generate real profits. And behind every perfect curve, there's no DNA, just data. Meanwhile, cosmetic surgery clinics now use AI-generated avatars to let clients preview their future selves. What started as fantasy becomes a blueprint, one that patients take into the operating room. This isn't the future. It's already happening. In 2023, over 90% of Gen Z women admitted to using filters before posting selfies. But filters are just the gateway drug. The real transformation is in full-body reinvention. So what does it mean when our deepest desires are designed by machines? When beauty is no longer discovered, but engineered? When the body itself becomes software, edited, updated, versioned like an app? In a world where everyone can design the perfect body, will we still recognize our own? We are drowning in beauty. But something about it feels off. Scroll through social media or type a prompt into an AI generator, and you'll see them. Flawless women with glassy skin, elongated necks, glowing eyes. They're not quite human. But they're not cartoons either. They occupy a strange in-between space, too perfect to be real, too seductive to ignore. Welcome to the era of hyperreality. This is not just a style. It's a system. In the past, art distorted the body to express emotion. Today, algorithms distort the body to express perfection. The result is a visual language made by machines for machines, aestheticized, sanitized, and endlessly reproducible. We call them neural goddesses, AI-generated women whose beauty exists outside time, race, or biography. They have no past, no imperfections, no context. They are floating archetypes, optimized to trigger desire, but stripped of personality. A face that looks like it should belong to someone famous, but doesn't. These images are everywhere. In fashion ads, in music videos, in digital art galleries. Their symmetry is calculated. Their lighting is inhuman. And yet, people save them, share them, even fall in love with them. This is the new visual grammar of our time. Glitch filters, plastic skin, iridescent highlights, surreal poses. A look that says, I know I'm artificial, and I don't care. Post-irony has become the dominant tone. We no longer distinguish between parody and sincerity. AI-generated women often resemble a satire of femininity. Lips too full, waists too thin, breasts too inflated. And yet, they are admired as ideal. The absurd becomes aspirational. But why does the AI keep generating the same kind of woman? The same facial geometry, the same body proportions, the same soft lighting across every model? Because it's not creating beauty. It's averaging it. AI learns from what it's shown. And what it's shown, again and again, is a narrow spectrum of desirability. Westernized features, sexualized poses, youth, passivity. The machine doesn't understand context. It only understands patterns. And it repeats them until they become canon. The danger is not just in sameness. It's in erosion. When all beauty starts to look the same, real diversity becomes harder to recognize. Real people begin to look wrong. Unfiltered faces are now seen as defective. Flaws are not just hidden, they are algorithmically excluded. We used to say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But what happens when the beholder is a machine? And when the machine trains us to see the world through its artificial eyes? We're not just looking at images. We're being programmed by them. In the digital realm, bodies have no organs. No hormones, no chromosomes, just shapes, surfaces, and code. We are witnessing the rise of post-gender anatomy, a new visual language where male and female are no longer fixed categories, but optional design elements. AI-generated bodies do not care for biology. They are fluid by default. You can mix broad shoulders with wide hips, combine masculine jaws with delicate lips, add or remove breasts with a prompt. And no one will question it, because in the virtual world, no body is unnatural. In this new aesthetic order, gender is just another toggle. One of many attributes to be turned up, down, or off entirely. Artists are already experimenting. We see digital beings with undefined curves, ambiguous genitals, faces that slide across the spectrum of femininity and masculinity in a single image. The body is no longer a binary, it's a blend. Some call it liberation. Others call it erasure. Virtual models like Q, the world's first genderless digital voice, or AI muses used in fashion campaigns challenge the very idea that gender must be expressed through form. And when major beauty brands use androgynous AI influencers to sell mascara or perfume, we begin to see a shift. Identity is becoming aesthetic, not biological. This movement isn't limited to artists. On platforms like VRChat, thousands of users, many of them teenagers, inhabit avatars that cross gender lines, exploring new selves before real-world transitions, or instead of them. Even our language is adapting. They has replaced he or she for digital beings. Some avatars reject pronouns altogether. In a universe where bodies can be swapped mid-session, gender becomes a fleeting performance, no more permanent than a hairstyle. And yet, this freedom carries its own contradictions. While AI allows bodies to be anything, it also tends to generate them in the same way: soft, symmetrical, feminine-coded. Post-gender still often looks suspiciously like idealized womanhood. So what are we really seeing? A future beyond gender, or just a new mask worn by old fantasies? When the body is no longer tied to sex or biology, what do we lose, and what might we finally gain? In a world where bodies are digital, who holds the power to shape them? We like to believe customization is freedom. That sliders and prompts give us agency. But look closer, and you'll see the hands behind the curtain. AI systems are not neutral. They are built on data. And data is built on history, its prejudices, its biases, its exclusions. The beauty ideals we see in AI are not born from imagination. They are scraped from the internet, from celebrity photos, influencer culture, pornography, and corporate branding. We feed the machine with our desires, and it feeds them back to us, refined, exaggerated, monetized. This cycle creates a dangerous illusion that what we see is natural. That the algorithm knows what beauty is. But it doesn't. It only knows what gets clicks. Tech companies now profit from synthetic beauty. AI-generated influencers sign brand deals. Virtual models walk runways. In China, some streaming platforms are replacing real women with AI clones that never complain, never age, never ask for rights. And then there's the darker edge: deepfakes. Unconsensual digital bodies, often of women, used for pornography, harassment, and control. The same technology that enables self-expression also enables violation. So who owns a digital body? The user who generates it? The company that hosts it? The algorithm that designed it? We are entering legal and ethical territory no society has mapped. If your avatar is copied, modified, or sold, was it ever really yours? If your AI double outperforms you professionally or sexually, what becomes of your identity? And what happens to the flesh and blood body in a world where the digital one is always younger, sexier, more perfect? When the real can no longer compete with the artificial, do we enhance ourselves? Or do we give up? Already, we see the signs: rising demand for cosmetic surgery to match filtered faces. Eating disorders triggered by AI-generated beauty standards. Young people struggling to distinguish authenticity from performance. The digital body was meant to set us free. But freedom without accountability can become another prison. We are no longer just creating images of ourselves, we are creating replacements. Models that don't sleep. Lovers that don't leave. Idols that don't age. This is not a distant sci-fi scenario. This is now. In the age of synthetic perfection, we must ask: what makes a body human? Is it flaws? Impermanence? The capacity to feel pain? To grow old? When beauty is rendered in code, when gender is reduced to aesthetics, when desire is optimized by algorithms, what's left of us? Plastika 2.0 isn't just about new bodies. It's about a new reality. One where identity is fluid, flesh is optional, and perfection is programmable. But in this shimmering, seamless world of digital bodies, will we still recognize ourselves when we log off?